Hey, I'm Dr. Anthea Todd, and this is What's My Body Telling Me. If you've ever felt like something's off, but your tests say you're fine, or you keep ending up in the same patterns with no clear reason, you're not broken. You're just not listening in a way your body needs. Here, we do things differently. I'll show you how to tune into your body, not your bias, and understand your symptoms to reconnect to the health that actually feels good for you and your life. Because your body isn't the problem, it's the solution. And your journey starts by asking one question: what is my body telling me? Ready to listen differently? Let's begin. Welcome back to the What's My Body Telling Me podcast. Today we have another relatable health story with the beautiful Kylie. Kylie, I just wanted to start by asking, why did you want to join us today?
I wanted to join in today because I've read your book, which was a big eye-opener and a game changer for me. And just with bits and pieces that I'm learning from authors and clinicians such as Gabor Mate, Bessel van der Kolk, and with what you're writing, I just thought, oh my God, I can contribute to this in a meaningful way. And if I can help a woman or two or three to get through their own medical journey and to really drive home to listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, and to advocate for yourself with medical health, then this is a project I want to be a part of.
Yeah, I know. And your story is one that definitely screams all of those things.
Does it ever?
So, I guess take us back to the very beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and your early life?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Papua New Guinea. So from about grade 1 to grade 5. My dad worked in aviation, so we were based over there. And then unfortunately for me, when I was in grade 2, someone broke into our house and I was attacked by a pedophile. So that was a huge game changer for the entire family, and we moved back to Brisbane in Australia. Now that point is relevant because a lot of my journey has to do with reproductive female health issues and, teachings by Bessel van der Kolk and Gabor Mate will really drive home that women who have experienced sexual abuse in their life are more likely to end up with endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, and other reproductive disorders. So that was the start. That was the start of my journey, I guess, from there.
So how did you feel? Because I know you've read my book and I share it in there. Something similar happened to me. It wasn't a stranger. It was someone that was meant to be looking after me. But it happens regardless.
It does.
And it's really interesting, as you just said there, how our body can respond to that.
Absolutely.
How did you feel sharing that? Were people aware? Like, what was the situation, if you don't mind going into it a bit more?
Absolutely not. Look, there was a lot of shame. There was a lot of shame about that. I took that as there was something wrong with me, as part of my body, as part of my heart, my soul, whatever you want to call it. So there was a part of me that had immense amount of shame around that. So, but as time's got on, I've done a lot of work myself. So I'm a trauma therapist, psychologist. I work with trauma and EMDR and parts work, which has just been such a game changer. So really in healing that side of myself psychologically, but also definitely noticing within myself, in my body, a hell of a lot more of a smoother process.
Do you find, because I guess that for me, I didn't tell anyone and I ignored it myself up until probably 2 years ago that I first told anyone, and also believed myself because I was 4 years old. Do you find I listened to several podcasts and I listened to one the other day that was on charisma. So it was nothing to do with healthcare or trauma or anything like that. But at the end, the guest was speaking about how he was sexually abused, how he had a lot of shame about it as well. And I was like, it's interesting because for me, I also had the shame and also was like, okay, why did it happen to me? What was wrong with me? All of these different things. And I was like, oh, maybe I had like the double shame of like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling like this. No one else that this has happened to feels like this.
Yes.
It's sort of like this merry-go-round of thoughts like that. But it was really helpful to listen to him say that he also had shame and he
Mm.
also had the same thoughts.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
guess as your work as a uh, psychologist,
Yeah.
do you find working with people with similar types of trauma, they have a similar type of mind frame around it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, I work with a lot of people who have experienced sexual trauma, and there is an immense amount of shame. So, I do a lot of work with those shame parts. And I mean, look, I can sit here as a psychologist and I can still tell you that my shame part gets activated every now and again.
Mm,
And even though all day long I can sit there and go, you've got nothing to be shameful. Like if anyone needs to hold the shame, it's the fucker who did this to you. I can
yeah.
sit there all day long and I know this here, but I've still got my own little shame part that's gets
Mm,
activated when I think about this. So not impervious just because I'm a psychologist, that's for sure. But
mm,
yeah, shame is absolutely it's such a rich theme with anyone who has survived sexual abuse,
mm.
which is unfortunate. But yeah, parts work. Anyone who's listening who's had any sort of experience with this, highly recommend finding an EMDR therapist who works with parts to really help you resolve this.
I know with the shame theme, I've heard Brene Brown talk a lot about that and talking about I think she calls them gremlins, the shame gremlins. So when you shine a light on those gremlins, often that's their kryptonite. So how do you find that in your own health when you do shine a light and speak to what's happened? How
Hmm.
do you find your shame changes with that?
Look, I think when shame is shared in a safe space, it loses a hell of a lot of its power, right?
Mm,
And sitting here and talking about this today, for me, feels like I'm slaying that dragon just a little bit more because I am snatching back my integrity, my power. So I'm taking
mm,
power over this.
mm. And it's so amazing to be, as I said, yeah, sharing it and sharing it from an empowered place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm going to own this, and yeah, this is a part of me, as you say. And if we're talking IFS languaging, it's a part of
Yep.
me. It's not all of me. It doesn't all consume me.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
particularly, and
exactly right.
I know when I first started looking at my own, I remember because I'd squashed it down so much. I'm not sure whether this happened with you or whether you saw it
Hmm.
with some of your clients. I'd squashed it down so much when I'd allowed it to come, it was like really coming and it was
Oh yeah.
all consuming and
Yep.
I'm like, I have to still be able to sleep without
Yep.
like shaking all the time. I need to go to the grocery store. I'm
Yep.
still a daughter and a sister and a friend, and like I still need to be able to show up for the people in my world and also my own. How am I going to do this? Because if I squash this just a little bit, then that's going to be me falling back into the same trap and pushing it down again. So this is I'm saying this because someone listening might be in this exact
Oh.
position. And someone the my therapist that I was working with at the time said, she's like, you can pick it up and put it down whenever you want. It's not going away. You not focusing on it isn't you abandoning yourself again.
Hmm.
It's not, you're not doing that. It's like it's still there. You acknowledge it, but you don't have to have that as your whole focus. Because
Yep.
otherwise that was my belief of like, well, if I don't have it as my whole focus, I'm abandoning myself again. I'm squashing it down again.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And
Mm.
yeah, do you know what's funny? I saw the drag queen RuPaul the other day, something on Instagram that popped up, and he said something along the lines of, you can look at the darkness, but don't stare. Look for the
Mm.
magic, look for the bits of joy, look for the things that make you light up and sing and dance and all that sort of thing. So I think that's important for anyone who can titrate between the two. If you
Mm.
can, yes, absolutely, this happened to you and it's horrible and it's great to acknowledge it. But my God, you got to look for those glimmers. You got to look for the other parts of your life. This does not define you as a person. I have dark hair. It does not mean that I am dark hair. Okay.
Mm.
This is a part of me. Absolutely. But
Mm.
there's so many other parts of me, that deserve a little time in the spotlight so that I can engage with my life and the
I
people I love.
love that. I love that so much. It's a great reminder for everyone, no matter what the part is,
Mm,
whether it's a deep-seated trauma or whether it's something that just happened yesterday.
that's right. That's right.
So you mentioned your journey started there in Papua New Guinea and then you moved to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Where, picking up from there, what happened in the rest of your health journey?
Okay, so when I started getting my period, I think I got my period first about 12 years of age. I had the most horrific period pain, horrific. So I'd have to call in sick. From work or from school, I I'd have to sit on the toilet. Like I felt like I was being snapped in half. It was absolutely brutal. And my mum, bless her cotton socks, said, Carls, I had the same thing. This is just a woman's lot. So
Mm,
it kept going on. I kept missing school. And she said, right, we'll go to the doctor. We'll put you on the mini pill or something like that.
mhm.
So they popped me on the mini pill and they gave me this stuff called Ponstan. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, but with
Mm.
this stuff, I couldn't feel my face. So I'd be sitting in class and I'd be chewing on my lip and I'm going, I can't feel my face. Okay, it's working, you know? So it was a
Wow.
very strong painkiller that really, yeah, it was just masking the symptoms. So at the end of the day, right? It was that, as
Mm.
you call it, that fast food medicine. We'll slap that on and off she goes back to
Well,
school.
it sounds like it was masking like a lot of sensation,
Yep.
pain, but also like if you can't feel your face,
Yep.
if you're thinking nervous system wise, it's like, well, we're just going to like disassociate you from
Right?
your whole body.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't enjoy the maths class either, so disassociation was probably a welcome excuse at that point, but it's not ideal.
Mm.
Less than ideal. So from there, they popped me on the mini pill, which I came off at about age 18 or 19 when I moved out of home and money was tight. And then from there, I moved to Ireland when I was about 20 years old. And in Ireland, I fell in love and decided, okay, I need to go back on contraceptive. And the GP at the time, this old man, he popped me on a pill and I had a continued bleed for about 8 weeks. So I went back to him and I was like, hey, listen, this isn't working for me. And he turned and he said, well, are you pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant. Well, it's working. I've gone,
Mm.
no, no, no. And this was the first time in my life I went, no, that's not working for me. I want to try different pills. That was the first time I advocated for myself in the profession. And you feel like, I'm arguing with the man in the white coat. So you feel like there's that authority and you sort
So
of go,
why do you think it was then? Like what was different about you then compared to the other times where you just alluded to that you didn't advocate for yourself?
well, I think I was 14. I was 14
Mm.
when I first went onto the contraceptive and Ponstan and things like that. And I had my mum and the doctor saying, two authority figures saying, well, this is it. This is the solution.
Did you feel like when you were 14, remembering back then, were you like, I don't want to do this, but they're saying to do it, so I'm going to do it? Or were you just like,
Look, to be honest, I wanted the relief from the period pain.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I wanted that relief. So if it meant that I couldn't feel my lips in my maths class, okay, we'll
yeah.
take that,
So it
you know?
wasn't like internally you're like, oh, this is really bad, but I'm just going to do
Not
it.
at
It
that
was just like,
point.
oh, this is great. This
Yeah,
is
at
solving
at
my
that point, it
issue.
was relief. It was
Yeah.
relief. So I was all for it. But yeah, with this doctor, I've gone, no, that's not okay. That is not
Mm.
okay. So I advocated for myself, got onto a different pill, which was fantastic. So from there, I moved back to Australia and I started working in events. So while I was working in events, my female fundamentals were fucked in a nutshell. Okay, I was working 20-hour days. I was smoking. And when I couldn't grab anything to, eating on the go, like I'm talking sausage rolls from the servo, when I wasn't eating on the go, I'd grab another coffee, have another cigarette, and to keep charging on. Right. So during this period, I had, yes, huge sleep disturbance, a lot of stress. And the job was socially isolating. So during this time, I started to develop acne and I had tried all the high end products from clinic to witch hazel to, I tried all these sort of different remedies and I couldn't get rid of this consistent chin hormonal acne, which I now know is hormonal acne.
Mm.
And during this time as well, laser hair removal had just come out. It was the best thing in the whole wide world because I don't know if you viewers can see, I've got dark, coarse hair. My dad's a dark, hairy Irish man, so I had a bit of a mustache, and I was like, "Oh my god, laser hair removal, let's go!" So I went and had a few rounds of that, and the hair just kept coming back. So a bit on my chin and on my lady mustache, And the woman said to me, "Hey, listen, with your pattern of acne and the hair, it's really consistent. It seems really hormonal. I recommend you go to your GP and you have a chat and see if there's this stuff called PCOS."
Mhm.
What's PCOS? Well, it's polycystic ovaries, but you talk to your GP, she'll talk you through it. So I went to this GP in Sydney who was, yeah, she was. There's a special hell place in hell for women like her. So I went to her and I said, "Listen, concerned with the acne and hair, I really want to look into this. Someone's told me about PCOS, and this is something I want to investigate." And she said, "Well, look, clearly it's your lifestyle." I mean, look, she wasn't wrong, but it's clearly your lifestyle. And look, I think you're wasting everyone's time and you're wasting your money. I just think you need to clear up your lifestyle. And I sort of went, "Okay, well, no, I think this is worth investigating and it's my money and I want to go ahead with it. Let's run the gauntlet, shall we?"
Mhm.
And so went and had a scan, and so you have the pelvic ultrasound externally and internally. And the woman who was examining me, she said, "Listen, with PCOS, what we're looking for is about 12 cysts. If you've got 12 cysts, we consider that to be PCOS." Now, she counted 57, and I had a cyst the size of my uterus, and I had some fibroids. So,
Wow.
right? So,
Did
thank
you
God
feel so you were on the pill at this time?
I was on the pill at this time. Yep.
Yeah. Did you feel any fullness in your lower abdomen? Did you feel like if there's like obviously a cyst that's the size of uterus, so you've got
Mm,
essentially
mm,
two uteri
right?
of two things that are taking up that
Absolutely.
space.
Well, no,
No,
no, I didn't
no.
because I mean, it didn't just arrive overnight. It was a gradual growth,
Mm,
wasn't it?
mm,
So it was just that degree by degree of change, and like I've always had a fatty lower pelvic area, so I just assumed that was that.
mm. And period changes, like, were you skipping your period when you're on the pill or your withdrawal bleed, should I say? Or was your withdrawal bleed ever heavy or
No, so
painful?
if I tried to skip my period, if I every time I tried, my period would come through regardless.
Mm,
So whether it be say if I tried to skip it, and by day 3 of trying to skip it, if I didn't take the pill like within the first 3 hours of the day that I'd woken up, then my period will come through.
mhm,
So it was determined. But in the lead up, sorry, just to backtrack, in the lead up for when I was going through puberty and I was having my period, I'd get a period every 6 to 8 weeks, or I'd just skip a period. But when they came with full force. They were just horrific periods. So
mm. And did you have acne in puberty as well or no?
no,
Just when
I had the
you
best skin
mm,
puberty. But again, I was on the pill, so
yeah.
that would have masked anything. So I didn't have those indicators. But I thought, oh, I'm blessed. I've got great skin. Having a look at all my friends, I was like, this is
Mm,
great. But it was when I
mm,
came off the pill that the acne came through each and
yeah.
every time with a vengeance. So yeah, I mean, from that, once I'd had the scans, I was referred to a gynecologist who did a laparoscopy and did a biopsy to check if the mass was cancerous. Thank goodness it wasn't. Thank goodness. But at that point, they also found that I had endometriosis, which had spread from my appendix to my bowel. Like it was just riddled throughout. So they said, "Look, we need to do a second surgery."
Were you getting
Um,
any bowel changes? Like, what was happening with your bowel? Were you using your bowels every day? Was it
At that point, yes, but I was smoking and drinking coffee. So it was like, I don't know for any of the smokers and the coffee drinkers, or if that's your main diet, it is like Drano. So when you have that first cigarette in the morning, you go to the loo. It's like clockwork.
mm,
So I thought I had a great metabolism, you
mm,
know?
yeah, it was being stimulated by other
Oh,
external
yeah. Body
things.
trying to detox. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So after that surgery, I noticed that my mood started to um, get to a bit of a dark place, to be honest. I had my first panic attack, or first and only, thank goodness. First panic attack around that time, shortly after I came off once I had the surgery and once I was no longer taking endone or opioids post surgery. I noticed, yeah, my mood started really going down, and I had that first panic attack, which was terrifying. So then had the second surgery a couple of weeks later because I just thought, okay, yep, I'm just pushing through, you know. Um, second surgery, and then after that surgery again, my mood plummeted again. I've gone, okay, this isn't right.
Mm.
Went back to the GP, who told me it was a waste of time, and I said, listen, I think that, with the work we're doing, my hormones are off. Something's not okay. It's after these surgeries. I'm knowing these big plummets. And she said, well, did you ever think you're just depressed? We'll put you on some antidepressants. Off you go.
Mhm.
I've gone, I don't like this. I don't like you. So I thought, okay, fuck her. And I found a new GP who was absolutely beautiful. And she said, yeah, of course, this is the hormones. You're having a dip about a week after you've had these surgeries, which is impacting your reproductive system. It makes perfect sense that this is your hormones are out of work. You're out of whack. Your
Yeah.
body is telling you, there's an
And
imbalance
also
there.
the fact that you have the cysts and endometriosis also is a sign that your hormones are out of whack.
Funny that.
Mm.
So she was able to point that out, wasn't able to tell me how to correct it.
Mhm.
So that will put you back on the jasmine pill or the yasmin pill,
Mhm.
which, is commonly referred to as the $1,000,000 pill because it's bloody expensive, but it's the one that's typically prescribed for PCOS. So
And
I thought,
often
okay,
has mental health
hmm,
side effects. I know I was never on it. I think I went on the pill, um, Levelin for a year, and it was just I'm like, "Okay, it's contraception," and then I
yep,
didn't, but I remember high school when a lot of my friends were on it, the ones that were on Yaz,
mm-hmm,
often it was like, "Whoa, what's happening with their
yes,
moods?" They feel
yes,
like they've completely changed as a person,
yes. That
and
reminds me, yeah, because before I went on Yasmin, I was put on Yaz, and that is actually what when the mood really went down, it was the Yaz. It really
mm.
knocked me. So, yeah, again, did you ever think you're depressed? We'll put you on antidepressants. Fine, we'll change you over to Yasmin.
And again, I'll just put a caveat here, everyone responds differently
Absolutely.
to different ones. So some people respond really well, but the thing
Yeah.
is to always just listen to your body and go,
Oh
"Oh,
my God.
this started happening when I did this,
Yep.
maybe because of that, not
That's
because
it.
I'm broken or because you're just
Exactly.
depressed. Did you ever just think you're depressed?
I know. I know. And you
Depression
know
is
what?
a
That's really
symptom."
bloody hard to do when you are feeling that depression. To take that big step back and go, well, actually, hang on, let's look at the sequence of events here. That is nearly an impossible thing to do when you're depressed.
Yeah.
So,
I
what
think
I would really encourage everyone to do is to tune in and listen to your gut, listen to
mm,
your intuition as
mm,
much as you can, because you might not be able to put the sequence of events or have that kind of executive functioning in that moment, but listen to your gut, whatever you do.
mm. And I think it's really important to because I've had bouts of depression through my life, and I know that when you're in it, you there's a well, for me, I can only
Mhm.
speak to me, um, it's like, "Okay, well, there's something wrong with me. I'm
Mm.
broken. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stay stuck like this. Like, this is
Yeah.
just me." Even though it's like, "Okay, yeah, remember you felt like this before, and then you also haven't."
I
Like, you
know.
have your conscious mind that can come in,
Yeah.
but also when you're in it, it's like, "Okay, well, I'm broken, and this is just proof that
Yeah.
that's there." But when you can and this is what I do with any symptom, like treating depression as a symptom, treating anxiety as a symptom, treating hormonal acne as a symptom, treating cysts
Yep.
as a symptom, treating feeling good as a symptom. They're all
Yep.
just symptoms, messages from your body, whether you like them or you
Absolutely.
don't like them. It's just your body saying, "Hey, you're doing things that I really like," or "You're doing things that I don't like."
Right.
So what are those things? And that's where that female fundamentals framework comes in. It's
Mhm.
really helpful to go, okay, I'm actually gonna listen. And maybe I'm depressed because, oh, timing wise, it was when I started this medication.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because, oh, it started when I was part of this relationship and that actually
Mm.
was there.
Mhm.
Or it
Mhm.
started when I started smoking and drinking coffee and having
Yep.
poor sleep.
Yep.
It's just it's holding that curiosity, and I know with parts work and
Oh,
internal
yeah.
family systems, it's like, "Okay, can you get into that self energy? Can you hold that
Absolutely.
curiosity of going, oh, okay, I wonder if I know that I'm not actually inherently broken, my body
Mhm.
is amazing, what
Mhm.
could these things be trying to tell me?" And it sounds
Absolutely.
like from what the story so far, it's like you're even though you haven't used this languaging, it's almost like you were trusting that a little bit more, like what you just
Yeah.
said there, it's like, "Oh, trust your gut."
Yes.
It's like trust that actually you're okay and your body's not working against you and it's trying to help
Yep.
you is
Yep.
another sort of way of doing that. So time for a body break. This isn't just a moment to skip, it's a moment to connect, especially if what we've been chatting about has stirred something up. Take a breath in and place a hand over your heart. And breathing out, connect to the beat underneath your hand. Can you feel it? This is your body's way of saying, I'm here and I've got you. So you were mentioning that, okay, now you were like, maybe it's this medication, and you saw this different GP.
Oh, yeah, and she was absolutely beautiful. So she validated me, so I felt heard in that moment, which was a beautiful thing and exactly what I needed. But she was unable to put me onto a way to correct hormone imbalances other than, hey, take Yasmin or put me on Yasmin. So it was so I guess that point in my life was, I'd always thought about going into psychology because I always wanted to help women and, people who'd been assigned female at birth, who had similar experiences. I wanted to work with them and I wanted to help them. So I decided to move to Melbourne and start university. So during that time again, I was a Provo uni student and I was living on my baked beans on toast. So I came off the pill because I couldn't afford it. And symptoms arose again. So I had acne again. At the start, I definitely noticed some mood fluctuations, but that kind of evened out. But during the rougher periods, I went and sought medical advice again, and they said, "Oh, yeah, it's a mood disorder. Antidepressants, and away you go." So that has been it has just been the theme. It's just very surface level medical supports throughout. So it's only in the last 2 years or so, thanks to, Instagram. Like I came across you, I think I said to you the first time we tried to record this, I came across you when I was watching a reel from the Irish comedian Kylie. And I thought, this is brilliant. So I went down a rabbit hole on your Instagram feed. And when I popped into one of my GPs for flu jabs or whatever it was, I said, I think I've got high estrogen. I think that's what this is. I think I've got high estrogen. I think I've got low progesterone. Roll on menopause. I'm so done with my reproductive system. I've never wanted to have children. I'd roll on menopause. I'd get a hysterectomy tomorrow if I could. And he said, listen, estrogen's not a bad thing. Estrogen's really, really good. But I guess the thing here is it's one of the many hormones and it's got its role on the team, but you got to make sure everyone is playing on this team together, working together. And I've gone, okay. So one of my girlfriends that I work with recommended a doctor who female hormones are her area of interest. So I went and I've started a journey with her. She took a whole lot of blood, 24-hour urine tests, and we worked out, yes, estrogen high, progesterone low, thyroid underactive, cortisol really, really high. So one of the things that she said was, you've got to start having more fun. You've got to relax. And I've gone, I love this, because this is exactly what you've talked about as well.
Who is this person? Because that sounds
Dr.
exactly like what I say.
Edith Street Wynnum. She's brilliant. But yeah, so she said, you got to start having fun. You've got to relax. And I thought, okay, brilliant. So one of the things that I love to do, when I'm stressed, I love to get into nature. So I'll go for a hike down a Mount Tamborine, or I'll get into the water in the ocean, like big blue, big green spaces. It grounds me and I love it. But the other thing I do is I roller skate and I rollerblade. So I've got these really cool leopard print roller skates with red wheels, because red ones go faster, and I'm such a klutz. So like my knee pads are my best friend, but it is so much fun. So I love to go for a skate along the Brisbane River. And it gives you this moments where you're just like, oh, wow, this is awesome.
And I think
love it.
How did you find taking that piece of advice? Because sometimes, like if you go, okay, well, yeah, I've got these heavy, painful periods. I've have this history of endometriosis, of polycystic
Mm.
ovarian syndrome.
Mhm.
I've got these mood changes and shifts, and people have diagnosed me with a mood disorder and trying to put me on antidepressants. And now you're telling me to just have fun? Like I'm playing devil's advocate, right? So it's like,
I know.
what do you mean you're telling me to just have fun? I know the science behind why that's
Mhm.
important, and it seems
Yeah.
like a flippant thing, and a lot of people, I know a lot of women might be triggered, particularly if you've been told
Oh,
by
yeah.
men, but also by other people when you're
Yeah.
stressed to say, "Well, just relax." Like,
Oh my God.
I don't think that ever works, telling someone just relax. So how did you find that advice? And I guess, did you deliver it in a certain way, or do you just feel like you're like, "Oh, okay, I can understand that
Look, I think it
me."
was delivered, at the right time. If it had been
Mhm.
delivered 6 years ago, I probably would have bit a head off, or a part of me would want to bite a head off. But at that point in time, I had, I've I've read your book. I listened to it on Spotify. Um, and so having listened to you, again, Bessel van der Kolk, Gabor Mate, who I'm seeing tonight, so excited. Um, Listening to those guys, you need to find that joy. You need to have that fun. And, you know, eh, I guess what I also understand is that, when you're in stress and your system's washed with adrenaline, cortisol, etc., really highly inflammatory stuff, the happy hormones, dopamine, serotonin, all these sort of things, they can absolutely balance these things out. So your
Mhm.
body literally can create the medicine you need to
You're your
right
own chemist.
balances.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Mm.
we can alchemize these things. So, and I think that is so powerful. So I think it was delivered at the right time because I'd done the research around this, and I was ready to receive that information. And it
Mm.
clicked. It clicked for me.
And did
But I
you obviously knew what was fun? Like,
yes.
you could connect to, like, "Oh, I know what that is," because I know if anyone's listening to this, sometimes I suggest that. Well, I
Mm.
always suggest that. I say I start my day naked dancing in my room because
Yes.
it is fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not to say that everyone should do that, because if you're like, "Naked dancing does not seem fun to me," do it. That's not the point. It's
That's it.
finding something that's fun for you. But I know there are some times when you're in that nervous system state which I call like the red light,
Mhm.
where we're disassociated, we're numbed out, we're in the freeze fawn,
Mm.
feel hopeless, we might be in the depths of what feels like a depressive episode.
Yep.
It's like, "Oh, now you're telling me to have fun." Like, what even is that? I don't even know what I do for fun. Like, there's nothing
Yeah,
that's fun. Like, so it's, I guess that it was great timing for
it
you
was.
when she gave you that. But also, if someone listening now is feeling like they're like, "I don't even know what is
Mm,
fun anymore,"
mm.
what would you suggest to them? Or
So a couple of things I suggest. The first one that I recommend for all of my clients is start creating playlists on Spotify or whatever streaming device or whatever you're using. So music is this beautiful thing that can lift us. It can lift our levels of arousal, lift us in that polyvagal stage, or just give us more energy, much more
Mhm,
energy. So for me, just before we jumped onto this podcast, I was listening to Foo Fighters Making a Fire because that's something that kind of gets me G'd up in the morning. So music is a big one for me. Faster paced music, so with more beats per minute, or kind of maps onto our heartbeat, which can raise the roof, right? So
mhm,
music is a huge one. I've
mhm,
got playlists for when I need to rage. When I'm feeling sad, I'll pop on Adele and have a little howl. But yeah, music to get me going in the morning when I'm going into work, and music to calm me down as I'm driving home at the end of the day.
mm,
So music is a big one. The other one I'd probably suggest is to pick up a pen and paper or a pencil and paper and start doodling, start creating.
mm,
If that's all you've got the energy for that point in time, maybe start there. But I would
mhm.
highly recommend pop on some music as you're going, stuff that's a little bit more uplifting. Don't put on the Adele, bless her. Um, but put on something that's going to get you going in the morning. Now I'm a bogan at heart, so AC/DC is something that always gets my toe sort of tapping away, and I start to
Mm.
feel a little bit more revved up and things like that. So whatever works for you, music is a big one.
And I think that speaks to the body as a mirror and your symptoms as a mirror. So the environment that you put yourself in
Yes.
will alter,
Yes.
one, how you feel, but
Yep.
also that over time will alter the different symptoms that your body is giving you. So
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, well, if you're watching or listening to true crime or like all this depressive stuff, it's like, and then you
Yep.
wonder why you can't sleep at night, or you just seem
Mhm.
like quite hypervigilant. You're walking, you're like, is that person following me? Is this? It's like you're feeding like
You
your
are.
brain is being fed every day by the the environment that you put it in. So
Yes, sure
it's
is.
so important to go like, okay, is this thing that I'm doing, watching, saying, the people that I'm around, the things that I'm
Yes.
eating, everything, are they working for me or are they not working for me? And I know
Absolutely.
that question itself is a super, super powerful one, because
Mm.
I know for me, I do this now every sort of Sunday or at the end of a week. I will go, okay, what have I been like listening to? What's been taking my attention? Emails, Instagram, WhatsApp, phone calls,
Mhm.
friends. What have I been doing on the weekends? Like literally everything.
Yeah.
And then I will put 2 columns and go, what's working, what's not working for me.
I love
And then
that.
it's like, oh, it's just a great way to like refresh and go, oh, okay. Because then it's taking you away from like, oh, I had a good week or I had a bad week or a day or not a day. And you're like, oh, but I don't know why. It's just because like
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yep.
actually when you get to look and you go like, my emotions, my physical symptoms, they are
Mhm.
literally just feedback from my body
Yep.
saying it likes or it doesn't like something that's happened or
Yep.
something that you're doing. So it's like, it's a really cool place when you can go, what's working, what's not working, not what's right, what's wrong.
Mm-mm.
It's just what's working, what's not working, because it can change from day to
Oh,
day. It can change from weeks. It's like,
definitely, definitely.
yeah,
And I mean, I'm a huge reader. I love the horror, the thrillers, and all the rest of it. But I know there's times where I need to put Val McDermott down, who writes about psychopaths and awesome author, and pick up some Marion Keyes, like something a bit more lighthearted and just a bit
yeah.
rom-commy and a bit, you know. So I know that in myself. It's kind of like, it's almost like when you're driving, you've got your foot on the accelerator or the foot on the brakes, sort of thing. So
Mm,
you got to kind of work out what is speeding me up, what's revving me up, what's slowing me down and making me a bit more sluggish.
mm. And I think it's coming back to this knowing that
Mm,
actually your natural normal state is to feel good.
mm.
It's not a reward, or it's not that you're lucky that you feel
No.
like that. I think when we don't really necessarily feel alive, but we're just sort of living and yeah, everything's okay. And yeah, I've got
Yep.
these things, but like, so does everyone. It's like,
Yep.
yeah, but also like, how's that working out for the world? I wouldn't necessarily say that like everyone's thriving health wise.
No, definitely
So
not.
it's like, okay, well, if you go, well, actually, the natural normal state of my body is to feel energized and great. And yeah, you're not going to feel the exact same every single day,
Mm-mm.
but it's not weird or abnormal to feel good. I know
No, no.
sometimes if someone's listening to this and they haven't felt like that in a really long time,
Mm,
it can feel weird and abnormal because it's not a common thing that you've felt in a long time. But it is when you start to feel good, it's not like, okay, well, like, this is abnormal for me because, like, I'm a person that feels like this. It's like, nah,
mm,
that's
mm.
again the identity. It's like a part of you. It's not
Yeah,
holding on to right, wrong. This is who I am. You are an adaptable, amazing human being, and your body is
absolutely.
always giving you that feedback. So I think
Yep.
it's really important with what you've been saying. It's like, okay, yes, you can change. Trust yourself. Your body is adapting. It's always giving you this feedback, and listen and trust yourself. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's the main thing that I'm feeling from what you're saying is like, okay, it's from when you were younger, it's like listen and trust yourself. And then it's like, okay,
Mm,
when you start to get into puberty, it's like, okay, yes, I listened and I took the different things that were given to me and they helped. But then when I got older, I didn't really want to do that. And
mm-mm.
it's trusting how you feel at the time and going, there is also something better or different that I could try. I'm
Absolutely.
not locked into having to do it this way.
Correct. And I think, it's really, really hard for a lot of women to advocate for themselves, right? When we're putting into the situation ourselves, we're sitting across from someone who's got, degrees on the wall and medical professions and a lot of, degrees at the end of their signature on their emails and things like that. You go, okay, well, they know best, and shit, maybe I am making too much of a fuss about this, or maybe, and you start to second guess yourself. So I guess what I'd really encourage women to do in that space is think about, okay, what would you say to your little sister? What would you say
Mm,
to your daughter? What would you say to your best friend if she said, oh, fuck, I sat across from this doctor who told me, well, you're wasting everyone's time, etc. What would you say to her? And I can just about guarantee there's a protective part of you that would come through and go, you know what? Fuck her, fuck that. You need to go to a different GP. You need to go do all this sort of stuff. So I want people to
mm,
recognize that and hold themselves to the same standard, have the same sort of compassion and that fierce protectiveness for yourself.
mm. And I think that's, yeah, it's such a powerful thing. There's something that I've been also reminded of that in this last week, actually. Even like, okay, what would you do for that younger version of you, or your sister, or your
Mm-hmm.
friend, or someone in your life that you care about in that instance? But it's also like you can take that to the self-talk that you tell yourself every day.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
oh, what am I going to have for breakfast? It's like, oh, I'll just do this. It's like, okay, but like if you now what I say is like, what's a loving choice?
I love that.
If I loved myself, which I do, but
Yep.
sometimes you do things that aren't necessarily a loving choice for yourself.
Yes.
That's a really great thing, because sometimes it's like, oh, well, this is a good choice for me now, but I
Mm.
know it's not a good choice for me in the future. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I know that, yes, I want to go on this massive holiday and do all these different things, but like, oh, I know future me will be like, oh, now we don't have those savings, or we don't have whatever. But it's like,
Yep.
okay, well, what would be a loving choice? It's like, well, a loving choice would be me caring for myself now and my future self.
Mm-hmm.
Because, oh, okay, well, I can still do all these things, but maybe I'm just
Yeah.
going to do it in this way that I know is also loving to my future self. So I
Exactly.
think it's, yeah, that's a really great point in what you're saying. And when you do that, naturally those protector parts come in and go,
Oh, they do. They do.
okay, well, a loving choice would be for me to go, thank you very much, but I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm going to do this.
Correct.
Or
Correct.
thank you so much. That's great for me to take on a little bit of, and I'm going to do this. Like
Yep.
it doesn't have to be a this or that. It's just a,
Mm-mm.
what would feel loving to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. How many times have you been told everything looks fine while you still feel exhausted, bloated, anxious, have skin issues, period pain, and totally feel off? Without saying it, people are thinking it's all in your head. But you know something isn't right. Your body knows it too. And let me tell you, your symptoms, they aren't random. They're messages. Messages that blood tests don't always pick up because they only show a snapshot in time. Great when you're bad enough to need medication or surgery, not so great when you want to make sense of your body. If you really want to understand what's happening beneath the surface, that's where Test Your Fundamentals comes in. This isn't just another test, it's a functional health tool that gives you real answers. Using HDMA, or hair tissue mineral analysis, it gives you a 3-month report card of how your body's been functioning, internally and externally, showing exactly why you're feeling the way you do. Unlike standard blood work, HDMA can detect nutrient imbalances, heavy metals, and deficiencies that could be wreaking havoc on your hormones, mood, metabolism, and gut. So instead of guessing what supplements you need or throwing money at another miracle diet, this gives you real, personalized answers about what your body actually needs. Here's how it works. You'll get a personalized HDMA test, a breakdown of your results in plain English, access to practitioner quality supplements, and a step-by-step lifestyle recommendations tailored to your 4 fundamentals. So you know exactly how to support your body your way. Your body isn't broken and it's always working for you. You just need the right tools to listen. That's what Test Your Fundamentals gives you. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start taking action, head to femalefundamentals.com.au and order your Test Your Fundamentals hair test today. There's also a link in our show notes. So I just wanted to end on a couple of different questions for you.
Yes.
Your history of your work as a psychologist,
Mm.
and I know you mentioned that you're seeing Gabor Mate, you love Bessel van der Kolk.
Yep.
How do you when did you realize that your physical body and your mental, spiritual past, when did you realize it was all connected?
Oh, do you know, started to realize, yeah, as because when I'm learning, I love to do it as I'm walking, so in sunshine and things like that. So listening to Gabor Mate and stuff like that. So I'd be walking for hours. It was fantastic. It motivated me to walk more. But tuning into that and sort of hearing what he was saying, there's a little voice inside of you, or there's this part of you, and he started using that kind of language, which I'd always thought, okay, that's my gut, that's my intuition speaking. But again, at the same time, I was starting to learn about IFS models, and I was starting to do, EMDR masterclasses and structural dissociation and things like that as well. So for me, it was that perfect storm of information where I've gone, well, hang on a second. There is an inner wisdom inside of me. And, in parts work, we call it our higher self, our best self.
Mm,
And my God, is there wisdom in her? My
mm,
God, is there wisdom in her? So she is kind, compassionate, caring, curious, and yeah, being able to recognize that and tune into that, and then kind of realize, oh God, I did kinesiology for the first time recently, and
mm,
it was absolutely amazing. And I saw some of my protective parts come up in this moment. I've gone, I know who that is. I know which version of me that is. And it was really just a really cool moment. But yeah, recognizing that you have these parts, IFS language is you manage your parts that are very proactive and want you to present as your best self. And then we've got
mhm,
what we call firefighter parts, which are more reactive, and they might engage in behaviors like, drinking or smoking or, um, you know, things that are ultimately maladaptive. But at that point in time, my God, are they the biggest distractor for whatever's going on inside of you for those
mm.
wounded parts? So yeah, again, it was just that perfect storm of the learnings that I had, and then it all just kind of clicked in that moment. I've gone, hang on a second, I've got this connection to myself. I've got this inner wisdom. I can tap into that
Mm,
and give
yeah,
her more power, and she can guide this ship.
yeah, I love that, and it's the trusting of that,
Yes.
I think, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
often, and I myself, even at times, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's what it sounds like." Oh, but that feels really uncomfortable, and I don't wanna do that.
Yeah, it
Maybe
is.
that isn't the inner voice. It's like, "Oh," when it's not rushed, it's not urgent, and it's just that calm, steady, it's like, "Oh, okay." It's not coming from fear, that seems like it's the intuition, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But also tuning into your gut and saying no when something is uncomfortable.
Mm,
Whether it be, a friend that you caught up with out of obligation, but you don't really enjoy the company of, and you walk away feeling a little bit depleted.
mm,
Saying no. Saying no. Saying
mm,
no to, seeing that extra client at the end of the day and squeezing them in. Sorry, no, I've got to come first here. I've got to look after
mm,
myself. So,
mm.
yeah, saying no is a big one and getting comfortable with that.
Yeah, so with that, and I know you just mentioned kinesiology, what's the new ways that you're managing your health now? I know you mentioned you read my book and then you were seeing a different integrative GP,
Mhm.
kinesiology. How are you managing and sort of viewing your health now?
So, yeah, kinesiology is amazing. I'm definitely enjoying that. But I guess looking at myself as a system, like a symphony of parts. And like you said, environment is a huge factor of that, massive
Mm,
factor of that. What am I reading? What am I watching? And yeah, just setting myself up for success, I guess. You do want to nourish your body. You do want to make sure that you're trying to get that good sleep. Looking at that real foundational level of taking care of yourself, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
mm,
Looking at that. And yeah, just the whole system. It's not just one thing. It's not just one thing like I've got acne, put me on a pill. Okay, cool. I've got acne, I've got inflammation. There's other things at play here. So what can I do? Don't go to the servo and reach for a sausage roll. Have some chia seeds in the morning, things like that, just to
mm.
help, yeah, nourish your body, nourish your soul, nourish your mind. It's all connected.
It is, and that's exactly why when you're talking about the foundations, or I call them the fundamentals, it's like when you
Mm,
care for those 4 functional fundamentals,
yeah.
then It's not that you're chasing like, oh, I've got acne, so I'll do this, or I've got IBS, so I'll do this, or I've got migraine, so I'll do this. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, maybe this is,
A
again, the
messenger.
symptoms telling you that your body doesn't have what it needs.
That's
Let's
it.
just start with these fundamental things, because everybody needs these fundamental things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then maybe tweak and change. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Symptoms are messages, right? They're messengers from your body saying, hey, something needs attention.
Yeah, exactly. Or, hey, thanks so much. You're doing things that we love, because that's a
Yes.
great symptom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So on
Absolutely.
that, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to end with this final question. What does listening to your body mean to you today?
Listening to my body today means, attunement to myself, attunement to my body, my heart, my soul. It means trusting that, God, your body knows. It's 10 steps ahead of your mind at the end of the day. It knows, whether it be trauma, whether it be fear, whether it be health, whether it be anything. Your body knows. There's so much wisdom in that. So listen to it and seek help, but find the right help. Find the right help that works for you. And advocate for yourself. Listen to your gut. No matter what you do, you listen to your gut and you advocate for yourself like you would about someone that you truly care about.
I love that. Kylie, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
If this episode resonated and you feel like you're stuck in the space between symptoms and solutions, you're not alone. I've been there too, and that's why I created all of this. From the book, if you're just starting to listen, or the test if you want clarity your bloods couldn't give you, or the body-led experience if you've tried doing it all and still feel flat. Well, sometimes you need something specific, like one of our symptom series, for a deep dive support on topics like fatigue and menopause. So wherever you start, just know your body's already guiding you. Share this with someone who needs it, and don't forget to follow and rate the show. Please remember, this episode is for educational purposes only. Always consult a qualified health practitioner before making any medical decisions. Every body is different, and so is every healing journey.